It can't possibly be Friday.
Yeah, it is. Where does where does a week go? Seems
I
like you
just
and I
got
talk
up.
it.
No.
Huh? Oh
Isn't
my,
it Monday?
oh my God! I swear to God. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing how time just flies. Like they
Well,
say, it's like,
especially when there's a lot of stuff in the news like there was this week. I mean, there's just no end to it. And you just, yeah, I don't know about you and your morning routine, but I get up in the morning and I check, sit down with my cup of coffee and pull up the web and like, what the hell happened while I was sleeping? So,
yeah,
but anyway, welcome to our millions and millions of viewers. We always hope that we don't overtax the system, but YouTube has assured me that they have people looking at the servers to make sure that there's not going to be any problems today. So I think we're covered. So if we get, more than a million on here, which really, Pat, it happens. So I mean, right now we're at 1,000,008.
yeah, yep.
So, I mean, it could happen. So
It happens quick.
So I've got a few numbers to start sharing here. We'll get started and show you a few things. As you know, I always start my handy dandy little 7-day moving average, but there's a few things that have changed a little bit. I'll move this arrow over just a smidge. That's last year. It's right about there. But so I've got all these other colors up here, and I know it's kind of muddy, but you'll see in a second why. So the bottom line is the blue line is the number of homes come on the past 7 days, which is 4,763, and the red line's a number that went under contract, which is 3,833, which is a difference of 930. And as we've been tracking these, those differences have been about good afternoon and hello, Jackie. Um, the the difference is now in the 900s and thousands versus 100, 200, right? But the thing that sticks out to me, we have 7,008 listings today for a Friday, which is that's, I don't know. You tell me. I think that's the highest we've been in 2 years.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, it wasn't stuck in like the 43, 44, 4,500 range.
Yeah. Yeah. But then what I see here is that 3,833, the average number of homes going under contract. And you and I talked about this earlier. That's still pretty steady. And I think you made a comment today that said, you know what? That's probably going to dip because those homes under contract, the past 7 days are based on rate locks that, maybe people had or I
Yeah,
mean,
probably rate lock that they did 30 to 60 days ago.
but they're just going under contract during this last 7 days. So is that really gonna move it? And Tyler says, didn't we hit 7,000 last year? Let's see. If I can't pull it up on this one, but I think we may have for a brief period. I'll take a check, Tyler, and we'll see what we can do. What I got, here's the price changes. Look at how the price changes, which are price reductions, are escalating. But then I got these numbers down here that I call the canary in the coal mine. So pending have gone up a little bit, but under contract accepting backups has gone down a lot. But here's the one that I think is telling, and that's contingencies. So contingencies were running, I can't buy your house until I sell mine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And contingency is the last number. I look at how long I've been doing this. The last
Wow.
number.
Is that
Jackie says we got as high as 7,500. So
you do that with? I mean, is that a data download, or you do that? You just every.
I'll show you how I do it. So look at the contingencies here. They're sitting here at like in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, and now they're 108. And what I do, I'll pull this off and show you what I.
I don't know anybody else would be doing that. That's pretty cool.
See if I can show how I get this. I go to the MLS, and it's just super easy.
No, make it pretend like it's hard.
It's really hard. I have staffs of people that do this with me. I'm paying thousands of dollars a day.
Yeah, make it more complicated than it is, Rick. Don't make it sound like any Joe Schmo can do it.
Well, you think about it. I mean, right here where it says new listings, I have to literally type in 4 digits.
Yeah.
Imagine, and with coffee here, and then I add on back on market. So those are new listings that have come on in a week, and that's good Lord, that's another 3 digits. Then I put in under contract backups, contingencies, and pending. And then I look at
We put
price
them in
change.
that Excel sheet though, right? Every day.
Yeah, and I just manually put them in again. And then I don't pay any attention to coming soon anymore. Just to me, it's not any kind of a leading indicator of anything substantial. I mean, it doesn't tell me anything. Somebody's saying, Jackie, you should join these guys Fridays. Hey, Jackie, why don't we let them know what we're going to do later on in the show? What do you say?
Yeah.
Once
Tyler,
you're over
Tyler,
your
stay
goal.
tuned.
Yes, Tyler, stay tuned. So, and I'm also going to be doing a, well, I'll wait till later. What did the contingency numbers tell us? Well, Daniel, right now in a hot market, if somebody comes to you with an offer and they go, I really want to buy your house, but it's contingent upon me selling the other one, you're probably going to tell them no, because you've got 4 other offers that don't have a contingency. They're clean. They're coming in with cash. They get good financing. You don't have to wait for them to sell theirs, because that can be a grunt sometimes, a little bit of a problem. When they start accepting more contingencies, that's telling you that sellers are feeling a little more anxious than they were previously. Jackie says, sounds good. All right. This is going to be a good show.
In the dating, I guess maybe I'm just going to add a little humor to this. In the dating world, it's like as you get less picky, you're getting less picky.
That's right. Yeah.
I've
been on MatchCom for 3 years.
I've been for 10 years. And so my contingencies are getting less and less and less and less.
That's right. That's right. California now has their favorite forgivable equity loan program, which program allows qualified first-time home buyers to borrow up to 10% of a home's purchase price and have the debt forgiven. That's just kind of a grant, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I heard about that. Yeah. It's, I saw that. I mean, it's, I haven't done any loans in California, so I heard about that. It's kind of like you have to basically, it's kind of like a down payment assistance where you have to hold the loan or commit to being in the house for 5 years.
Yeah, we had that similar program, and then it went away. So here's the long-term rate story here, right? So here we're going up in 1981. I remember it well. I bought my first house there, bought my first condo here. And then rates steadily have been coming down. So Pat, here's the $64,000 question for you. And that is, do you think we'll ever see this again?
I mean,
going up,
man,
how far is it going to go up?
Yeah, I mean, pull that chart up again. We can always, I mean, there's, I don't know. You can see the tops back in 2000. I mean, you're here at 7.5. I mean, pull the icon to like 1995. Yeah, I mean, you go back to 1995, we were looking at 9.5, 9, 8. Is that, where'd you get that? Is that yours?
This is Jackie's showed me how to find this morning. Impact of rising rates on housing. It's another historical perspective. Showing the rate increase of 14 months from 93 to 94. Went up 2.38% with a final rate of 9.2. And then it's showing you that let's see, somebody answered the question here. If the buyer lives at home for 5 years, the loans are available to middle income earners making less than 80% of the country's annual income. And
that's the problem. A lot of people, they have the income restrictions. So, I mean, how much house can you really buy? There's always a restriction that knocks you out of a certain box.
So anyway, back to this chart again, it's showing that rates went up for 14 months. Home sales dropped 11%, but home prices still went up 3%. So it breaks it down for a few years when we've had sustained rate increases. The one that is kind of deceiving in my mind is this 13-month rate increase from 05 to 06 shows that rates went up 1.18 to 6.76 and home prices went up 7%. Well, that was before the big fall, but the dirty little secret is nobody was paying 6.76. Everybody was paying interest only or even negative amortization loans. And then when their loan pegged to 6.76, everything fell apart. So don't buy houses. Annual income, don't buy houses, are too expensive. California's tough. I heard it was difficult to purchase a home through a VA loan these past few months. Is there any truth to it? Sellers not wanting to entertain VA loans?
You know, there's always a mystique about VA loans because they're tougher. But I saw something that 94% of the VA loans appraised for at the contract price or higher. You know, there's just a stigma with VA loans that the sellers, that they've got to repair. It's basically chip paint, things of that nature. But VA
FHA does
loan,
the same thing with chip paint. So
yeah, I mean, it's if your house is in regular pretty good shape. I mean, VA is a great loan. I mean, I just wish sellers would. I think what I have seen is that it's the listing agents or agents in general. The listing agent telling the seller, "Oh, VA loans are tough." You get some of these people that have this stigma about it, and they're quite honestly easier. In a lot of cases, they're easier to do. I mean, it's
well, I
for
think
the
that goes down to the agents again. Because
yeah,
are the VA loans difficult? No, not for us. They're not tough. Are there a few different things? Yeah, but that's where the conversation has to be from agent to agent. I know there's a VA loan. I know they have some. This have some stigma to it. But can we talk about that for a moment? When you go to present this thing, this
yeah.
this contract, do you think your clients are going to be concerned about VA loans, and do they understand them? And just put it out and go, there isn't any more fees for them.
No, the biggest
You
thing is the addendum, like the Tidewater. If it's appraised, if it doesn't appraise, that they can pull out. I'm not going
yeah,
to get into all the sticky details, but they can pull out. But typically a lot of VA clients have, they're willing to say, I'll since they're going 100% financing, if they got money, they'll say, okay, hey, I'll throw in an extra 20 or 30, $40,000. If it doesn't appraise, they can still pay over. They
yeah,
don't,
yeah.
you know.
Whoops, I got to add this back in here.
So, I
So
mean,
the question we got here from Stephanie, I wonder if, oh, that's not the one here. I'll get back to that. If rates keep increasing, do you guys think prices will drop or just remain stagnant where they are now? That's the big question. So how high will rates go? And historically, have we ever seen rates, turn around and drop? I mean, the loan products are what killed the industry back in 2008, and that caused rates to drop. But I think rates in and of themselves cause the rate of growth to slow down a little bit.
what
And
was
we're
that again?
certainly, well, the rate of growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we're not going to go up 30% this year.
No.
Not if rates keep climbing.
I think people got to get out of this, this do or die. We're either going to be living or, the doom and gloom, or things are great. I mean, you have to just, we're trying to present data that's, at least, because like I said, sensationalism sells, and, you and I are just trying to present the facts, and, it's not going to be do or die. I mean, let's look at the facts. Rates have gone up. The people that are edge, that are high DTI, that there's going to be a certain percentage. I don't know what that number is. They're not going to qualify. I'm seeing it already, but things are going to taper down a little bit. And I think people, I've been trying to put it more in of an organized time frame for myself and others. And I mean, if you look at this, this rate chart, this is, think about, this is like 2000. I think this is, I'm trying to be, let's see here. This is 2000 and, let me get this out of here. Bear with me here. Like this 2017. I think people are like, oh, rates are going to go up right away. Obviously we've seen rates right here just go through the roof here from like, March, actually really down here, January, beginning of the year. Rates have just, taken this staircase climb upward. I mean, are they going to, they're probably they're going to go up a little further. There's going to be a point in time where things are going to slow down, and the Feds are not going to get as wild because this market's already priced in. Are you in the show?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I lost it for a second. I thought I lost you. But there's gonna be a point in time. I think you look right now.
I put you on, I take you off.
Okay.
So yeah.
I'm pulling up my rates. You have to think of it in a time frame. Like, okay, this is 2017 to this period right here is 2018, right? Okay, then let's take that time frame, and then 2018 down to here. That was basically what, March 2020. Let's call it a year and a half right there. All right. Then we got this time frame from March 2020. Let's say in this to about here. I mean, year and a half, 2 years. So we might be in this thing for the next 6 to 18 months. I mean, rather than, does that make sense? I'm trying to break it down in
Yeah,
time
no, I
frames.
think so. I think it's reasonable to say that that this isn't a blip. And Stephanie here, as concerned, says, "Wonder if we're getting pre-qualified is getting tougher by the day. I've been pre-qualified, but wonder how frequently you need to recalibrate monthly mortgage payment amount increases." You know,
Yeah, I mean, if you're getting pre-qualified, I would assume, don't assume the best case scenario, assume the worst case scenario, and you can always work backwards. I mean, if rates are right now, like I said, I'm at 5. Well, just to pull up here, just let's talk about where rates. I'm going to pull up this other. Can you pull up the other chart? So right now, I mean, this is I'm with. Let me see here. Where is my cursor here? This is $550,000 purchase, 5% down with AmeriSave. This is the best price lender I've got right now. Let me see here.
I'll get to that in a couple of minutes, Derek.
This is, so we're looking at 5.5 is right now. Look at, you want to see something crazy? 5.5. Okay, right now with the rate, that's 29.67, right? Back, wasn't that long ago that you could have gotten 3 and 5/8. That is now a cost of $43,000.
Not that long ago, you were having $2,000 credits.
Yeah. And that's so 23, okay, 29.67, 23, that's a $600 a month difference. From 5.5 to 3 and 3. Because as I said, not long ago, 3 and 5, even when I was quoting 3 and 5/8, 3 3/4, you're like, oh, that's a little high. It's just amazing how things have changed. So, I mean, as much as things have changed for the negative, things can change just as quickly. But I think we're going to be in this time frame. People just can't expect it to happen next week or 2 weeks from now or 3 weeks from now, because I think you have to segment into time frames, 6 to 12, 18, month period time frames. Like, okay, this next period is going to be kind of tough. And my premise is that once in November comes around, that we get a regime change. Things, if we do, not to get political, but if things change, that we might loosen up things. And the Feds, I think they're stepping on the rates right now. And Barry Habib, like I said, in October, November, December, he thinks things will loosen up a little bit. So I think the next 6 to 8, 9 months, you have to look at it like, hey, you got to gird your loin.
Yeah, we're going to be here for a while. You've got a question on how much can someone afford with an average annual income of $52K, rates being the way they are. Well, it depends on what your other debt is.
Yeah. I mean, if you got no
price of home, let's see. So if your debt to income ratio needs to be what now, Pat?
About 40 to 45. I mean, it depends what program. I mean, you have to, it's basically tip out at 49%. So 52, it's 43, 4,300 per month times 40, let's say 49. Your payment could be around $2,100. So, I mean, if some of the young kids don't have any other debt, that's the problem is, they have student loans. You have to put in for 1% of the student loan balance. So if they get $50,000, basically, it could be $400 monthly payment there, which is going to kind of hit them in the,
you can just go to a basic mortgage calculator like I have here at rickhelps.com, and you can put in the home value, the down payment, and mess around with it, and look here at what your total payment is.
Yeah.
And
so 40, that's the limits are 40, about typically 45 to 49, depends on credit score. If your credit score is lower, I mean, everybody, just once again, everybody is individually different, because somebody's, I could put client A in, I put 10 clients in the, desktop underwriting. I put all the information in Fannie Mae, and it spits out and says you're approved eligible. Someone might get approved eligible at 49, and there might be other ones based on assets, credit, how much you're putting, there's a whole myriad of things that says, I can't get approval over 45. So everybody's a little different. Everybody's a little different.
Yeah. Pat, what's your rate?
Yeah. That's what drives me nuts. But
we've seen that before. So here's the latest and greatest. The red, look at these are all red. This means that when it's red, it means it's no longer it's sliding away from being a seller's market into a buyer's market. Look at 100's considered a balanced market. And this is to kind of help answer, who's it? Derek's question. And he says, Do you think we'll be at a balanced market by the end of 2022? Well, guess what? It looks like Buckeye will. It's like
Mhm.
Buckeye will be down at 100 pretty soon. Probably they just went down 23%. So what they're saying here, if you thought last week's table was bad, then this week's is much worse. All 17 cities are cooling quickly, all with the except of two, Glendale and Goodyear, dropping 10% or more over the past month. The average change was minus 18.1 compared to 15.3. More drastic cooling is observed in Peoria, Queen Creek, Paradise Valley, Buckeye, Tempe, and Gilbert. Supplies building quickly thanks to plentiful new listings and a major slowdown in homes going under contract. The last 6 weeks look like a significant turn in the market than we've been anticipating for several years, and there's no obvious upcoming changes expected that would reverse the current trend as I get out of that. And so that's what you were saying,
Yeah.
we're probably going to be in this for a while. Because the market was so hot in February, it'll take several months for this trend to bring us back to more normal levels. However, we note the Buckeye has broken below 200 and only one city, Avondale, is still over 500. Why is Glendale a hot market? Glendale, let's see. Avondale, Fountain Hills, Glendale, Scottsdale, Gilbert, they're all a hot market.
I
Glendale's
think.
got a lot of building, not a lot of
Yeah.
building, but it's a popular area. It's a little more affordable than the rest of the valley.
Mhm.
So
There's pockets of affordability there. I mean, in the East Valley, you've got the more of high tech. In Glendale, you got high tech going over that TSM, that the Taiwan Semiconductor going up in north. I think people are, there's pockets there in Glendale that are a
yeah,
little.
and Jackie correctly points out here, isn't it true we've only been in a buyer's market 3 times? Our
Yeah,
normal market hasn't been a buyer's market since the crash.
yeah,
Pertina Tambour, which is a Cromford market report. She goes, our normal market's still a seller's market. So are we all going to get down to 100 and stay there? Odds are
yeah.
probably not. I mean, we may bounce along the bottom, but really, I know what everybody's stressing over. And as real estate agents, we do too. Nobody likes these bidding wars unless you're just a constant listing agent. And everybody wants to be that, right? But even when you do that, I mean, you're just going through contract after contract and trying to figure out which is the best offer. And I mean, I like the good old days when you present two, And I looked up some numbers here, because we keep hearing the traffic's down and buyer, and I look at that again. I go back to my chart of the 7-day moving average. We're still 3,800, but then I read in a Cromford report that contracts have really dropped off. I'm going, well, I don't see it. I mean, I don't know where he's looking at it. I mean, trust me, his data is better than mine, but I'm pulling that right off the MLS. We're still 3,800. We've been at 3,800 for a long time. Now we are at 4,100, a few times, but 300 is not a big deal. But this thing here is screwing around with this today. This is showing time, showing the number of showings. So I thought, okay, let me just pick Gilbert. Gilbert from February 1st to March 1st had, in this price range between 500 and 600,000, 506 showings, an average of 17.2 per house. Okay. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now go in another month, 463 showings, an average of 18.58 per house. And then in April, only 440 showings. So showings in Gilbert in that price range are down 14%. That is that's an indication that either A, we're just seasonally getting towards summer and showings are slowing down, but not in April, or there just are not going to be as many contracts coming because the showings are decreasing. Is it possible to find a 3-2 single family home and single income of 95,000 east of the 51 towards North Phoenix or Arcadia? Yeah. That market's so diverse up there. I mean, if you're hugging close to where the 51 meets the 101, then yeah, absolutely. And there's parts next to the 51, honestly, aren't that great. If you're closer, you get to Arcadia, 95,000. No, I doubt it.
I mean, yeah, just look at, I mean, that's 79, just ink from a qualifying standpoint, it's about $8,000 a month. I mean, according to a lender, you can, really push it. Your monthly payment, you could go up to $3,500 a month in monthly payment. What does that get you? Obviously just, depends, but like I said, if somebody's got a husband or wife, if you've got the biggest thing that I see knocking people out is some stupid car payment of $700, $800, $900, $1,000. I've got one that's got $1,000 car payment, and his wife's got an $800 car payment, and they're getting squeezed. I'm like,
well, and you just walk around an apartment complex and just look at cars, Pat. There's some few Teslas, really brand new, you name it. There's just, and you wonder, could they afford to buy if they didn't have that car? And like you said, there's two of them. Yeah. I knew a guy that had a car. We were getting him into a home. We got him into a home in Buckeye. His car payment was $700 a month. Like, what?
Well, they say, do you want to live in your car or do you want to live in a house?
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you got to make an adjustment, and
no, you do.
With rates going up, maybe now's the time to make that car adjustment. But I'm not trying to beg to get people into a house. It's, it's not my job here to convince you it's the right time to buy or sell, just to share the numbers that we're seeing. But, to Pat's point, if this is where we're going to be for a while, are you in a position where you can make some adjustments if you really, truly want to get in a home?
Yeah. Like you said, people, if you have no debt, you can push, like you said, 45% debt to income ratio. You can push it, but
I think, I get it that everybody wants an answer and says, how long is this going to last? And, I watch the Fed data just like you do. And I comb through these numbers, and even you can see on the Cromford report, and he's going, the past 4 weeks have really seen a change. And his answer and his prediction is, let's take a look at the next 4 weeks and see what's going on.
That's why I kind of started realizing the last couple of days, you just got to break it down into time frames, because we're looking for that answer that's going to give you the right answer next week or 2 weeks from now. And you just have to chop it now and say, because I'm seeing things, like you said, in the 6 to 18 month, 24-month period, what's going to happen? That's kind of what's been happening. So
yeah. What is this showing you? That's right. That's right.
You and I, this is one of our fun indicators. I got two indicators in my life that I said the CPI, the Christmas party indicator, and we're going to call this the CI indicator. And the Christmas party indicator, I think people have heard me say that back in 08, 9, 10, when things were tough, people had Christmas parties in their conference rooms. And then when things get good, they start having Christmas parties at Ocean 44 or Oceans, 44 or Stake 44 and Oceans 48 or whatever it is. And this is the last couple of years, I hear these loan officers and real estate agents, God bless them, in our business, when they're having a great month, they're like crushing it. Oh, I'm crushing it. I'm crushing it.
And we vowed early in the year that we don't want to hear the word crushing it in 2022 anymore.
Yeah, it's just one of those words I hate. It's just like crushing it is a relative term. Somebody that's doing 5 loans a month is crushing it versus somebody that's doing 50 loans a month is crushing. So who knows? It's all relative term. It just drives me nuts.
So we looked it up. You and I were talking,
and it's like, because I haven't heard the word crushing it in the last 4 or 5 months that much at all. And Facebook, it's like, oh, I'm crushing it. I'm crushing it. I'm crushing it. And then you and I were like talking on the phone the other day, like, hey, let's look this up on the crushing it terminology.
Yeah, we looked it up on Google Trends, and it's trending down.
It's trending down drastically. So,
are we a couple of guys with way too much time on our hands now?
No, but I can see, but it goes back to psychology builds into the market, and people aren't, you see this. People were, honest to God, that's why I was getting a little edgy last year, because anytime I see 9 out of 10 people, I'm crushing it, I'm having a go. It's like, whoa, back it off here, Charlie. Back it off.
Your Christmas party is going to be in the break room next year.
Yeah, so. It's just, I maybe it's me just being the grumpy old Pat, but it's just, I just gotta.
Daniel says 40 to 45% debt to income ratio would leave the average person house poor only if they no longer get any more raises in their career. Because remember, you're fixing that payment for 30 years. You're not fixing the rent payment. So, I stretched myself out in my first house, and eventually, like, oh, this payment's not that not that
Yeah, I
bad.
mean, yeah, people gotta be careful. I mean, because yeah, I mean, that's just the guidelines because we take gross income and not net income. So
The average salary of an agent that has 2 to 3 years experience working in the valley, it's kind of an unusual number, but I think it's 43,000.
yeah, it's like 30. It's like 40, 45,000. I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So uh Keto Man says, when you say debt to income ratio, what is the debt? What is the income example? Utilities, taxes, Medicare, and for income, are we including stock dividends and options?
You could actually. The stock has to be. There's a guideline. Matter of fact, I haven't used one recently, but let me see what that question is. Basically, debt is student loan. Anything that's reported in your credit report, like student loans, car payment, and credit cards. We don't look at utilities, taxes, and Medicare. We don't look at that at all. Basically, for VA loans, they look at, for USDA and VA, they will look at residual income. They kind of look at your gross income minus that. They do for VA. That's one thing. But yeah, but they restricted stock units, if it's income, they can use those. It's kind of a guideline I have to look. I haven't seen it in a while because I haven't had one in a while. That's a guy like at Intel, but they can use those. If it's reported if it's reported on your W-2, they can use it.
Derek's asking if the second home market's been hit hard yet, like pine and strawberry. I haven't seen any data that shows that slowing down. Yeah, the Cromford report will probably bring some data in on that next month, but I haven't seen anything there yet. Before I get to our announcement on a little show format here in a second, Pat, since you're a avid golfer, I thought I'd share this with you. This is a father showing his son how to golf, and it pretty much sums up my game.
Yeah, it looks like you in the golf course. Yep.
Oh, that's funny.
I would have quit the game if that was my bad. That was my game. Oh.
Yeah, you swing at it a couple times, and how the hell?
Well, hey, just real quick on the lending. Go back to lending. I know we're jumping around, but the lending news. I'm starting to see there's a couple lenders that announced last couple of days that they're suspending some different programs like DPAs. There's a couple lenders that suspended the 100% doctor loan program, and they said due to the market shift, so they suspend these programs quickly. So you could tell. I mean, there's signs that I'm seeing that the boat was going like this. Now it's we're getting a little jumpy, and
yeah. They always get rid of the incentives first, and it's kind of like the home sellers right now. They're some of them are reducing their prices because they probably thought they could get considerably more, but the overall price reductions of homes is the sales price, contract price is not going down at all yet.
Well, like I said too, our work I think is going to pay off for everybody that's watching us because we've been watching this stuff for like the last 2 years now, so we're people that are just jumping into the game now, they have no idea what to go off of.
Well, I was just told today that we are now the #2 YouTube channel for real estate in Arizona.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And we've been doing this show now, I think, for about a year and a half. This show isn't #1, the one we do on Friday, but we're getting there.
Minds.
We're only on the millions and millions of viewers that are out there. More lucky though, because YouTube has assigned a guy to watch the server to make sure that nothing blows up. So we're good there. But so we're not moving to another format.
Let's sum it up for people.
Yeah, we're not going to do this. I mean, we're still going to do this Friday show at 3:00, where Pat and I are on. But we got into discussions after we had Jackie on, and we have decided. And I don't know the day yet. And we got a couple more comments here. Let me get to them here. Congrats. Thanks. I appreciate that. Derek, appreciate that too.
Thanks,
You're going to love
what
we got coming. So we've decided that we are going to put together a news format, and it's not going to be a live show, but it's going to be a kind of a concise news format on a consistent weekly basis with the addition of
an
How
upgrade.
about that? Huh?
That's definitely an upgrade.
Yeah. So here's the format. What we're going to do is we're going to have a news format. And so it's going to be an opportunity for you to come in. We haven't figured out exactly what day that it's going to air. When I say air, it's just going to be an upload on YouTube. So you're going to want to subscribe and click that bell icon. And as long as you're down there, hit the like button. Unless you're my brother-in-law, you can hit the dislike button. But the the show's going to just consist of here's where the market's at. Pat's going to bring on the most recent lending news, and Jackie's going to have a segment of on the street, what's going on out there, good stories, funny stories, interesting stories. So definitely where the what's happening, boots on the ground. And Daniel says the YouTube notification hits 2 to 3 minutes after you begin the live shows. At least in my case, using Verizon Wireless. Well, this one won't be live, so this will be an upload, so you can you'll see it. And we're thanks everybody. This is it's going to be fun. But then after that, we're going to interview other agents. So we may talk to Jeb Smith again in Southern California. We'll reach out to Minnesota, to Scott, and we'll go down to Texas, and we'll go to Florida. And so it'll be in the same format every time, so that on maybe Wednesday night at 6:30, and you go to the news channel, and we're going to just give it to you kind of rapid fire and show you what's going on, because everybody's buried for time, and I just think it'll be a lot of fun, and looking forward to it. Jackie's going to have her partner Ruby join us as well, and so I think it's going to be fun. And Jackie, I'm as excited as well. So I think we're going to be probably about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And Keto, getting back to income ratio, I have no debt at all, no car payment, no child support, only utilities and food. Would that mean my debt to income ratio is 0? Well, they're going to put in your
house payment,
your projected house payment.
Yeah. So I mean, you just got to figure out your gross income. If it's $6,000 times 40 45%, and certainly if somebody wants to get pre-qualified, they can. I never try to. I'm ready to sneeze here, but my allergies. But if they, and certainly I've never tried to solicit anybody, but I mean, if you I can run through a scenario and have it basically pre-qualified through a lender. Now lenders are doing, TB to be determined, pre-qualification. So I can run all your information through a system and say, yeah, at this level, you're good to go. So
yeah, just reach out to Pat. He'll be able to tell you in 2 minutes what your DTI is, and based on certain payments. That'd be easy to do. And Pat, hey, as long as we got here and we're talking technical, show that little box that came in the mail today.
Oh yeah.
You talk about an upgrade just in time for the television show. That's Verizon 5G.
Verizon 5G, baby. It's in my area.
It's going to shave off 5 years. Just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, you may be able to cancel that dating profile. So,
yeah, Mitch. Yeah, true. Thanks, Mitch.
We need some girl power, Mitch. We agree. Yeah. We do agree. We couldn't agree more.
We were starting to lag in the. We were starting to lag. Yeah, and
thank everybody. We had a lot of positive feedback when we had Jackie on last time, and we said, we gotta let's make this official and do a news program. So I think it's going to be fun.
Another thing is to tell them, we're going to talk to people that I think you and I talked about, talking to buyers that recently trying to bring some. I don't know if that's going to be in this scenario, or I mean, you're the producer, so I mean, we're talking to actual people that bought. What their downfalls were, what their minuses.
Yeah, it'll be different than the television commercials that you see on TV where everything's a bed of roses. We want to bring actual buyers and sellers in and go, so how'd it go?
Yeah. Did it go bad? I mean,
how
what was
long
wrong?
are you looking? What kind of hiccups did you run into?
Hear from real people.
Akito's saying no house payment paid off. No, we're referring to the house you're going to buy. If you're going to finance it, that will help figure out your debt to income ratio. So
Dan Padillo, I just talked to 5. They said they just get pop up in certain areas. You can call Verizon. They said they can notify you if you call them. They'll send you a text when it's available. I didn't know it was available until I got a text this last week.
I tried the T-Mobile 5G and it was awful. It would go really well, and then 30 minutes later, nothing.
Yeah, this
And
guy said Verizon's amazing, so hopefully it's true.
that's what I hear. I hear it's great, and it's only like $25 a month. So
35. It's 35
yeah,
actually, but
that's pretty slick. Can't wait to see the improvement in the bandwidth on your
will it do
end.
anything with
So
my face? You think it'll improve my facial features?
I don't think so. I read the little disclaimer on the Verizon 5G, and they don't promise any aesthetic improvements.
Oh, okay.
It's right. It's buried in there. It's a small line in a disclaimer. So I hate to disappoint you. Should you wait to get a HELOC for more of the comps to show as sold listings for the city from these spring listings, or should I apply now since inflation isn't going so well?
I mean, I don't think. Well, the HELOC. I mean, it's. Banks will handle the HELOC. I know they usually do a drive-by. They don't. Sometimes they'll do. I don't think they'll do. I mean, most of the banks are set up for HELOCs. Credit unions. I don't know if he needs a contact, I can send him a couple of different contacts. But I think they typically do like a drive-by. The HELOCs I've done in the years past, which I haven't done in because I said from a broker standpoint, we're really not set up for HELOCs. Banks, credit unions are mid-first. Washington Federal is a good place to get a HELOC. But they'll sometimes do a cheap drive-by version of like, okay, they'll pull up a valuation report, say, okay, your house is worth 550. We'll go up to 80%, 75, 70, 75%, 80% of your value. So hopefully that, I don't know if that answers the question or not, but I don't think you're I think maybe overthinking a little bit as far as inflation. I mean, the HELOCs are tied to the rates. It will move around.
Yeah, and Daniel, shoot me an email, rick@rickhelps.com. Let me see if I can pull up some examples up there on 3-bedroom, 2-bath homes up in that general area. Kind of tell me what you're searching for, and I'll include anything that's coming soon. There's a lot of that going on right now, and there may not be anything up there at all, but shoot me an email at rick@rickhelps.com. And other than that, folks, have a fantastic weekend. Pat, looking forward to see how young you're going to look next week with that new that new connection. So
yeah,
we'll probably see that new basketball you got behind you there looking real
the
sweet.
new basketball. Yeah.
All right, see you, everybody.
Have a great weekend. Thank you, sir.